Wilderness, una empresa maravillosa de la cual nos va a platicar, porque todo lo que hacen es para preservar el planeta, para preservar la relación de los humanos con el planeta, para tener a su gente feliz, y se están expandiendo por todo el mundo, entonces queremos que nos platique. Además, Keith está en México para recibir el premio de LuxuryLab Global por esa gran labor mundial que hacen con Wilderness. Entonces, hi, Keith. It's my honor to be able to talk to you, and my honor to be able to have experienced the African adventure. Thank you. And also to have listened to your presentation at the summit, which was amazing. And I want you to tell us everything about the rebranding of the brand of Wilderness and how you are expanding not only to Africa, which you have amazing properties and amazing camps and amazing wildlife preservation, but also in the world.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you for having me here. It's been a wonderful couple of days and I've really been honored to be here. So it's a great privilege to be here. To spread the message of conservation and luxury all in the same sentence.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful journey and you know, obviously from a journey that started over 40 years ago now, what we felt was that the brand needed to be refreshed and also to allow us to operate outside of Africa. So obviously with the name Wilderness Safaris previously, and our previous logo had two birds. There were two very special African birds called African skimmers that only survive in pristine environments. So that was the history of the logo and the brand. So we felt that we were now ready to, in fact in 2019 we were planning to start moving into a more global position. And we started talking about changing the brand. Obviously, COVID happened in the middle. But really it was about how do we refresh the brand whilst keeping the fundamentals of the business and the ethics and the morals of the business the same. So it was really all about being able to take our business model and what we've achieved in Africa with conservation and communities and culture and a successful economic model as well, and be able to potentially take it into Latin America and into potentially Asia as well in the future. So it's a very exciting opportunity, and in order to do that, you know, firstly we had to drop the name Safaris, because it's such an African name. But having said that, having been out in some of the wild areas in South America, Safaris could also work. Just maybe we have to find a different word.
Safari too.
Yeah. And that's why we changed the actual logo and the brand itself. But having said that, the fundamental outlook of the business hasn't changed at all. So those are still identical to the way they were previously, and we hope that's the way they'll stay into the future.
Which is amazing because for what I understand, one of the principles is to take care of the people, to really make a community, and it shows, it reflects in my experience with your Wilderness, beautiful places. What I loved most and what I was like really, oh my God, besides the beautiful animals, was the people and how happy they are to be a part of the Wilderness company. How they feel taken care of, how they feel appreciated and educated and everything. So it's wonderful to see, and it's a great example to spread that in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I think we all agree that people make everything. It's, you know, with all due respect to architects and designers and beautiful areas, it's easy that just really it's good ideas and money to make it. But at the end of the day, the true luxury of experience is made by the people. Yeah. And you know, I think we talked a lot about today about culture and communities, and to go to any one of the countries and see how proud the people are of their own country, of their own wildlife and their own conservation and heritage, is really what actually the ultimate customer wants. And to see that obviously makes us feel very, very proud. And you know, at the end of the day, it's a case of if we keep teaching and actually educating, that way we empower people. And when you get empowered people, then to achieve anything is very doable. And one of the things that I've seen traveling around South America, firstly I've met some wonderful, wonderful people. Met a diverse set of beautiful, rich cultural history. And there's so much that has got so many similarities to Africa with wildlife or with beautiful Mayan temples, etc. There's so much that could be done that I see similarities to, which is I find really exciting.
Really exciting, and for me as a tourist to be able to experience their culture. In Africa there was one day at the Jawa camp where they danced their dances, we ate their local food, and they were like in their community sharing that experience, the real life for them, with the people that were staying at the camp. So that is amazing.
It's fantastic, you know, and what's beautiful is that each of the camps, they have a choir, because they themselves want to actually show you how proud they are of their culture, and they want to share it with you. And at the end of the day, we don't force them to do that at all.
Oh, they do it by themselves.
They do it by themselves.
Wow.
And that, you know, and they come to us and ask us if they could share it. And that's when you know that your relationships with your staff and your community and the culture is doing really well. And it's a great way of testing how things are working in different areas. But it's a wonderful, wonderful experience.
It's a wonderful experience because you really feel like they take you in, which is amazing to experience. Because besides experiencing the beauty of the country, the beauty of the animal, the beauty of nature, the sunsets, the sunrise, everything, you get to experience the culture. And that, for me, was a life-changing experience because as many travels that I have been lucky enough to experience in my life or to have been in my life to different countries, this is the first time that they really take you in their culture with a pride and with a joy that is beautiful to see.
It's a very delicate matter, especially with tourism. And tourists, it's a case of you've got to be very careful that you don't overstep and actually impede on somebody else's culture. You want to be able to see it, you want to be able to live it, and you want to be able to celebrate it, but without changing it.
No, respecting it.
It's respect, which is the word.
Tell me something, how did you become involved in this beautiful, wonderful company?
I was very fortunate to start life off as a guide.
Oh.
So my joy in life is still to this day is actually being out in the bush taking people out.
Wow.
So from a very early age, from a kid, I grew up in the wild with the animals. So over the time, and when I was young and starting as a guide, being able to share the joy I had as a kid, growing up in the wild and seeing the animals, and seeing the joy in other people's eyes has really given me the energy over all these years to be involved in this business for many, many decades now. So, I mean, I was very lucky. I started in the very early days of business and in the very early days of safari. And see that grow. You know, in the early days it was pretty adventuresome.
Of course, really adventurous.
And to see this change over time. And you know, it's interesting, is like some years ago, one of our camps, Zimbabue, won the best hotel in the world. And I was sort of half offended that they called my camp a hotel. Because I don't believe it's a hotel, I believe it's a camp. Okay? And it was obviously a great honor on the one side. But the other side of the coin is it was about the people. And you know, I think when you talk about true conservation, we all think about habitat and wild animals, but actually it very much includes the people. So, you know, from a point of view, that took me some years to learn. You know, at the beginning, it's just, as long as I was in the bush walking every day, taking people out every day, I was the happiest person in the world. And when I retire, you'll find me back in the wild.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But I love the way it works. They were teaching us our guide, which we got two amazing guides. They were telling us that nature is so perfect, it's perfect harmony. The lion eats this kind of animal, the other one eats the other. It's perfect balance. And it works amazingly until man comes and disrupts.
Absolutely. I mean, sadly, yeah, it's always about man having disrupted. Having said that, if you give an area space and time, it will heal itself. The planet is incredibly forgiving. in healing itself. Where man has to step out of the way, you can visit it without leaving a trace, and you can see it and enjoy it still. But don't interfere with its natural circle of life, because if you break any part of that cycle, then you have problems. And we see that sadly all over the world.
Sadly, yes. But you're doing an amazing work in preserving these beautiful areas and these beautiful lions. For me, the lions were, oh my God, breathtaking. So it's beautiful to be able to see them, and they are not hungry, they are happy, they don't come and even roar at you because they are doing their thing.
So, it's fantastic when you say things like lions, is we talk about today that there's not as many lions today as there was 100 years ago, and that's for sure. But the reason there's not as many is because there's not enough land and not enough food. Lions will breed very well if there's enough food. So, hence our desire is to double the land under the influence of conservation. Because in many species, we can get back to what it should be. But in order to do that, we're going to have to restore land, we're going to have to put animals back in. Lions and leopards and cheetahs, they need food, which is literally or hara or kudu or zebra or buffalo. So it's all within that circle. You need food, you need predators, because that keeps the balance. Right, and that will go like this forever, as long as man doesn't interfere too much. Where man has to interfere today is restoring, and that's like reforesting areas, so that actually we make space for the animal. But this is the success of tourism. The more visitors that come, and responsible tourists and responsible companies, is that pays its way for governments and communities to want to protect the land.
Okay, because they want to keep them coming.
Correct. So as long as there's this beautiful balance between tourists and wildlife, and you can't have too many of either side. It's a case of there needs to be enough, because it takes money. And in countries today, especially very poor third world countries, they need to create jobs, they need to provide revenue for the country. Now, tourism can do that. It can play a great role both in employing and in creating wealth in the country, but it can also do a great job in preserving conservation.
Wow. And what are your plans in Latin America?
At the moment, I'm on the search for many, many places. And the good thing is I've already seen many really fantastic places, and I'm sure there are hundreds more places. I think really what I'm excited about is that what I have seen so far is there's enormous opportunity throughout South America as a whole, from Central America through to South America. If you think of the great places, if you think of the southern end of Mexico, at the top end of the Amazon forest, great opportunity, great cultural history with the Mayan rivers. There's just an immense sense of a rich culture. Then if you go further down into Patagonia, into Chile, in Peru, and into Colombia, to the Pantanal, into Brazil, into the Pantanal, into Argentina.
Plenty.
There's just so much that can be done. And I do think that a model like our own can be very successful in many, many places across the continent.
So it's wonderful to have somebody like you that is continuously finding beauty and ways to preserve it.
Yeah, I know, it's in my blood. I can't help myself to get excited. I mean, I think from a point of view, the first thing that I really look at is lots of obviously beautiful areas, lots of beautiful wildlife, but it's also really beautiful people in the sense of you can go into a country and you can very quickly tell whether you can make something like this work. And today we're in a very fortunate position that our younger generation really care about the planet. They care about the communities, they care about the wildlife. So we're actually probably sitting in a better position today than we were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And that's a really exciting place to be. And I see more opportunity ahead of us than from behind us.
Wow. I love that spirit. No, that's going to keep the planet going.
Well, that's it. You know, to me now, my job for the rest of my life is to open doors for the next generation. And that's really what it's all about, because I had the joy of seeing wildlife all my life. And I've seen it grow, I've seen it be destroyed, and I've seen it be rebuilt. So being able to rebuild, I know we can do it. I'm confident we can do it. And also when I go to new areas and I meet such wonderful people, it leaves me in a very good feeling. Now what we're going to do is open the door and let the next generation get busy.
It's a very wonderful job for the next generation and very rewarding. And like you say, I think that they are more conscious than generations before.
Absolutely, they certainly are. That's not to say before we didn't care.
No, we did plenty, so we did.
The problem is and I don't think we were as serious educated as you thought today. Especially I talk for myself.
Okay. No, that's a good way. Where were you born?
I was born in Zimbabwe.
Oh, so you were out in the wild, like you said.
Yeah, from this house.
Oh, that's a beauty, because then you know how to appreciate, and you've been everywhere.
And you know, what is fascinating is, from what I did as a kid, I'm still doing today.
Great.
So, not much in my life has changed.
No, well, that's very lucky, because you still have that joy and that wonderment, because you didn't have to change your ways.
It's been lovely. I didn't have to change much.
That is a privilege. Tell me something. How do you feel about being awarded the Luxury Lab?
Very honored. You know, I think it's an amazing honor. I think from a point of view, but I think it's an honor that we should share with everybody that's involved in conservation. You know, to be able to actually share these kind of awards, that this is done by a large number of people. I mean, we've got 3,100 odd people that work for us. We're only here today because of that many people. So these awards are a big thank you to the amount of effort that a big group of people have done. And that also includes our customers.
Yeah, because the customer...
You need both.
And the customers come and appreciate, and then they share it with some other people, no? So that is a big chain.
Again, it's the circle of life.
The circle of life.
Correct. If you come home and you've had a wonderful time, wonderful experience, you're sharing it with your friends, you're sharing it with your family, and then sure enough, they'll be the next time visitors.
They all want to go. There's not one person that saw my pictures or my stories that hasn't asked me. So you have many opportunities for. And I mean, they have the opportunity to go and fall in love with the beautiful thing that you offer, and especially with the people, because like you say, the people are the ones that make everything possible. And they all love you, so.
Well, that's good.
Yes,
that's lucky.
Thank you very much, Keith, for your time. Welcome
you.
to Mexico City, and hopefully you will return and see opportunity here also.
I look forward to coming back. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. It's my pleasure and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.